Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're playing with some new stuff from the drugstore. I went a little crazy in there. They had all the new launches out on display, and my little hands went to grabbing. So yeah, today we're going to test out some of the new stuff, play with it, and see how it performs. Yeah, so if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on new drugstore items. How you feeling about the price points lately? The quality, is it still there for you? Let me know down below what you think. And without further ado, let's get into the makeup. All right. So first thing I do have to test out here is a concealer and foundation from Makeup Revolution. Now, Makeup Revolution is not my favorite brand, but they just put a huge display in my Walgreens lately, or a couple of months ago, and it was so fully stocked of all these things that I haven't seen from the brand before, because I really don't pay that much attention to them, for one thing, but I never, gone away to look at their stuff. But this big display was just staring at me, and I was like, well, it's been years since I've touched anything from Makeup Revolution. Let's see what they're up to. Let's see how good it is. And they had some end caps and new displays of new items, and a couple of things that were on the brand new little display were the IRL filter foundation and concealer. Now I think the foundation has been out a little bit, but the concealer is new. So yeah, we're going to test these out first and see how they go. I also have a few new lippies, two new lippies to test out here. I got the Lock and Shine from Wet n Wild we're going to try out, and I also got their Rose Comfort Balm from Wet n Wild to play with. The new telescopic lift, which I have already shown on the channel, but we'll go ahead and include it in this video because it is also new to the drugstore. So we got this, and I picked up an eyeshadow palette from CoverGirl. This is their clean color eyeshadow palette. I got the Cool Berry colorway, and it looked very pretty. I liked this dark smoky purple shade. The shades just looked really nice. I don't know, it called to me. So I'm gonna play with these products today, and we're also gonna pull out some older drugstore favorites just to fill in the gaps. So let's go ahead and dive in with the foundation. I have just done my skincare, that's it. I don't have any primer or anything on. I've just done my brows. I don't want to do a primer or anything like that. I want to see what this foundation does on its own. We have the IRL Filter Longwear Foundation. This is a breathable soft matte. I have it in the shade F2, which is the second to lightest shade. Let me grab my notes on a little steno pad, because I am analog over here. Analog Anna. It comes in 16 shades. It retails for $13. It is medium to full coverage. Soft focus breathable matte, is oil free, shine free, crease proof, life proof, and smudge proof. 16-hour wear, made with niacinamide. It does come in a really nice bottle. It has a pump, which is nice. It's glass, frosted glass. It actually looks pretty elegant and pretty high-end, actually, aside from the sticker. The sticker looks a little cheesy. For $13, I think that's a pretty good price point for a foundation, so let's hope it is good. So on the side of the face, we will do with a damp sponge. This is the Flawless something sponge from e.l.f. It's my favorite, just never can remember the name of it. And yeah, on the other side we'll use my favorite little e.l.f. brush for foundation. I love e.l.f.'s complexion brushes. This is the buffing foundation. I'm just going to pump out 2 pumps just to get a good feel for it. It is thick. It's definitely thick. The shade looks good for me. But yeah, she's a thick girl. It's kind of almost moussey. Here, let's go in. And yeah, we'll start with the sponge on this side and see what it does, what the coverage looks like and all that. Now I'm a light coverage kind of gal, and I have combo skin, a little bit oily, but fairly balanced these days. And I do prefer lighter coverage products personally, and I tend to go for more of a radiant finish. So this is a little different for me, going with something a little more matte. And I'm kind of using a lighter hand, I guess, just because it's my preferred application method. Yeah, the shade is actually a really good match for me, so that's cool. Matches my neck. And I literally just grab the lightest shade off the display. That's usually what I do, and it tends to work out. But yeah, that looks like nice coverage so far. And I do like that it is kind of a medium coverage, just playing with a sponge like this with a light hand. I don't feel like it is blanking my face out or anything. Pretty nice. Okay, I can still see a little bit of redness peeping through right here. I have a little bump right there, so I'll try to build up on that one area and see. So I'm taking a little dab here. Like I'm just putting like a little dot and just pounce that on. It's been so long since I've used a sponge to put on foundation. I forgot what it's like and what a satisfying little experience it is. That's one little light layer. Definitely got some coverage to it. So that's nice, and I'm digging that shade, F2, which is the second to lightest shade in the range. It was just the lightest one that they had at Walgreens. So just to match me pretty well. Nice, perfect undertone. So I'm happy with that. Oh, wow. That does look pretty flawless. Wow. Dang. That looks so smooth. I think it could potentially look a little dry. If you have dry skin, it could go a little bit dry on you, but this is definitely a soft matte finish. Like I see just a touch of like a shine of skin coming through, but very, very minimal. And yeah, it's looking pretty nice so far. Doesn't look like it's really settling. Otherwise, yeah, it's looking pretty good right now. And here's compared side to side with none and a light layer. Cool. Okay, let's do the brush on the other side and see how that looks. I'm just gonna do the same kind of method here and just dab a little bit on. And let's buff this in and see what it looks like. I tend to use a brush more because I can control the coverage levels really well and get like a much lighter layer to me. Just doing a little stamping and kind of buffing motion. Let's see what we're looking like here. Pretty good. I think that looks good with the brush as well. Not bad. All right, I'm going to build up just a touch to kind of even things out. So they look the same coverage level on both sides. But yeah, that looks good with a brush or sponge, I think. So either application method I think would do fine for you, just your preferred way to apply it. So far it is looking quite nice on my chin area. It's definitely looking soft and filtered. It looks like I put a pore filling primer on. So that's really nice. And I'm curious to see if this does hold up to 16-hour wear. I think I'm gonna do a really kind of in-depth maybe review on this. But yeah, I think it is applying really nicely with the brush. It doesn't appear to be emphasizing any texture or pores. If anything, it has made my pores virtually disappear, which is pretty insane. It doesn't look like it's emphasizing any fine lines or anything like that. So that's nice. I do have this big crease in my chin. It doesn't seem to be doing anything weird there, or in my smile lines, or my forehead. But I do think that is a very flattering matte finish. That looks quite nice, and it is definitely buildable. You could really build this up. Now I'm going to test the concealer. This retails for $7. Not a bad price point. It's just classic concealer packaging, and I have this one as well in the second lightest shade with this, which is C2, and it also comes in the 16 shades. This is a soft focus finish, instant coverage, filter out blemishes, dark circles, fine lines, ultra blendable, breathable, soft matte finish, 16-hour wear, oil-free, crease-proof, sweat-proof, waterproof, enriched with VTOX or VTOX. I don't know what that is, but it's something that they are, I think, patenting, or it's something that is a Makeup Revolution thing. It also has okra extract and hyaluronic acid. So yeah, I think $7 is a fair price point for a good drugstore concealer. Let's hope it's good. All right, so I'm gonna start with this side, and I don't know how quickly it sets down or anything like that, so just do one at a time. Safe bet. It's got a really unique wand here. It's got like a little flat angle to it. I like the way that looks. Make sure you can see it really well. That looks like a really nice little applicator doe foot. Alright, so I'm gonna put a little dot here. Oh, and the texture is pretty kind of thick, very creamy feeling, but not chalky feeling or dry feeling necessarily. So I'm gonna put a little bit here and right here. We'll see how it does. And I'm going to start with a little brush, which is usually how I like to apply concealer these days. And just kind of blend it out some. It is blending really easily. Again, really good shade match in the second to lightest shade. So if I'm close to your skin tone, and I refer to my skin tone as undead a lot of times, so if you're really pale, they have an even paler option. But this was again, the light shade on the display at the drugstore or at Walgreens. Yeah, wow, that blended out really easily. Yeah, just a little dry looking around the eye area. So probably not great if you have a lot of fine lines or dry under eyes. Definitely not the worst, but I could definitely see it becoming dry looking, or if you have dry under eyes, not liking this one. But yeah, now that I've kind of pressed it in with like my finger, it's looking nice. Okay, so maybe it was just the application. It's looking better. And it does go down to that matte, soft matte finish that the foundation has. It does have really good coverage, like from one side to the other. Look how much, yeah, that does, yeah, you know, that actually looks really nice now that I look at it. It just needs to be patted out more. Okay, that was an application error. That was me. All right, let's try to do it with a sponge on this side and see what it does. I'm gonna do the same amount and see how it blends with a sponge. But you could definitely see this being one of those, you know, a little bit goes a long way type products. Oh yeah, the sponge applied it so much better. Wow, much better. Because it soaked up some of that extra product and oh yeah. Okay, concealer applies great with a sponge. Definitely prefer that over the brush with it. I'm gonna put just a little bit more, even out just a touch, like right here, because I did remove a little bit of the coverage. But this does appear to be one that dries down rather quickly, so I would recommend doing one eye at a time or working quickly, because yeah, it does dry down fast. It's got that little bit of like kind of a shape tape vibe to it, but with a light hand, I think it is looking really good. Doesn't appear to be oxidizing or anything like that. Yeah. Wow, my under eyes look really smooth. Huh. Okay. Not bad. I see why they call it like a IRL filter or in real life filter. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's settling or anything. And they do have a powder in this range. I just didn't see it at the store. I didn't know they had a powder until I looked on Ulta. Wow. That does look really, really smooth. My nose looks amazing. Like, I cannot even see a pore on my nose. Okay, now we're on to something here. This might be a good product. If you're into a matte finish and have oilier skin, this is definitely one to look at, I think. I don't even feel like I need to like set this. Like, it feels powdery to the touch. I do get quite oily throughout the day. So I'm gonna put just a touch of powder, a little dusting, if you will, of some of my number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder. It's kind of my go-to testing powder for product because it's one that I'm very familiar with and have used for quite a long time. So I'm just going to put a little bit around the eyes here, my areas that get a bit oily. But I still feel like my skin does look like skin, right? It doesn't look like I have a ton of foundation on. Like, it doesn't look cakey or heavy. It looks very lightweight. Or it is actually very lightweight. This is an interesting foundation. Not bad. And concealer. I'm kind of into it. Powder is sitting beautifully over top. It doesn't feel heavy on my skin. I don't even feel it at all, actually. Before I move on to the eyes, I want to go ahead and put on this lip balm stuff I got from Wet n Wild. This is the Wet n Wild Rose Comfort lip balm, lip gloss, something like that. Balm, I guess would be what you would call it. This comes in 6 shades and it retails for $5.29 at Ulta. It claims to have vibrant color, yet sheer color. vitamin E acetate, passion fruit seed oil, raspberry oil, buildable color. And I have it in pecan glaze. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this on just because I want something on my lips. And this is real. I put this on earlier today, and oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that I love this. It's a little click up situation. You can't twist it back down, so be careful twisting this. But it is like a lip gloss in a stick. It is such a rich, comforting formula. Like, calling it comfort is like the perfect description of this. It feels so nice. I love that. And it looks really pretty on the lips. Ooh, it feels like a really nourishing lip gloss. Like, it has kind of a thickness to it, a pillowiness. It's really, it kind of has maybe a hint of the rose fragrance they used in the Rebel Rose collection, if you remember that. It reminds me of that, and it's actually the same little rose pattern, in fact, on here. But look, isn't that a pretty color? I just love that shade. Let's talk about this little eyeshadow palette from CoverGirl. This is their CoverGirl Clean, Fresh, Clean Color Quad. And yeah, this is in the shade Cool Berry. It is such a pretty little color story. It's kind of, you know, nothing crazy, nothing wild, but it is, I thought it was really pretty. Something about these shades kind of called to me. I don't know, I feel like I could get a good smoky out of here. And a nice everyday palette. A little bit of both. This does come in 9 colorways and pretty good selection. Like, it's got something for everybody within the range. These retail for $13.99. You have 4 shades. You get a fair bit of product in here. Definitely a way better deal than the CoverGirl, or than those little Maybelline shadow blocks. Such a better deal here. These are high impact colors in one swipe, it claims. Soft as clouds. They do have a little cloud embossing on here, which is super cute. Effortless glide, flawless blending, easy fingertip application, non-chalky eyeshadow formula that lasts all day, 100%. Now they claim 100% clean vegan formula, free of talc, mineral oil, parabens, and fragrance. Leaping Bunny approved and is infused with rice extract. This is just plastic, but it's not super dinky feeling. It doesn't feel like Wet n Wild packaging. It feels a little more substantial, like it's not just gonna break. It has a nice hinge, which is one of my complaints with drugstore palettes, is they break really easily. This one feels like it's gonna last a little bit longer. It feels kind of sturdy, and I think it looks pretty sleek and has that nice minimal vibe to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and just swatch these out really quick so you can see what they look like. And I'm just gonna go across the palette that way. They do feel pretty smooth. They're firmly pressed, which is nice. There's no real kick up when I'm swatching them anyway. Feel smooth to the touch. They don't feel overly powdery. They don't feel overly dry. They just feel very in between, trusty feel. Like, they definitely have a smoothness to them, but they're not so powdery that they're like making a mess. They don't feel like the way like Maybelline eyeshadows feel. These feel pretty nice. It's been this one, so this shade right here feels vaguely crumbly. This one feels just vaguely dry, not bad at all in texture. And I do like that they're firmly pressed. And here's the swatches. I think they're very pretty shades. This shade, or this palette, even though it's called Cool Berry, I see a lot of warmth in here swatched out that you don't see looking at the palette. Like, the palette looks pretty cool, but in swatch they actually look pretty warm. This looks like shimmer from like a Pillow Talk palette. This is just like a really pretty dark purpley plum brown. And this one, this shimmer here, looks really cool in the palette, and I thought it was going to be kind of pinky, but it actually has a nice hint of warmth in it as well, and kind of a little bit of depth. And the transition shade here, or this other matte, looks really nice and it's very smooth. So yeah, I think it looks really gorgeous in swatches. So I'm going to grab a fluffy brush to start, and I'm going to dip into this first shade right here. It's picking up really nicely on the brush. A little bit of kick up, but nothing crazy. Gonna tap it off, excess off, and I'm gonna start to bring this through the kind of transition crease area. That's got some decent color payoff. Oh wow, was not expecting that. That's got some nice little bit of depth to it. I was expecting that to go on much more sheer, and that, wow, it's blending out incredibly easy. That's really pretty. That's a perfect little transition color right there. If you are similar color to me, pale, light eyes, this would be a good palette for you. And they do have some really pretty color options within the range. Most of them are pretty neutral in their color stories. Like there's only one of them that has like some blues in it. The rest of them are very just shades of brown, mauve, pinky, bronzy, gold. Just very wearable shades. Nothing, there's no jewel tones or anything crazy in there. They're very much nice kind of everyday palettes. That looks really nice. And looking at this one, just glancing at it, it makes me think of, I think it's the Rosewater bite-sized palette from e.l.f. These feel a bit bigger than the e.l.f. palettes also. This would be a great everyday palette. Like definitely a work appropriate palette. I could see using this darkest shade in here as a nice liner shade. Yeah, very nice. Very contoured look to the eye because this has a bit of a taupey mauve to it. This one I would think would have been called the mauve palette, but the mauve palette actually looks quite pinky. So you have one that's a little bit more in a pinky tone, and then the other one's a little bit more warm rose goldy looking. And they're very smooth. The shimmers in this palette, they are more of that satin finish. They're not metallic, they're not frosty. They have more of that soft satin feel to them, where they're not going to be too much on the eye. Let's take the pinky soft one first, the one with more of a pink tone first, and see what it does. All right, it's picking up nicely on the brush. Not much kick up. And I'm going to take that kind of on the center here and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's just a really nice soft kind of satin finish. That's just one little light wash of it. That looks really pretty. But I like that. There's a softness to it that is very nice. Very subtle. In a good way. Not in a, it's not pigmented or whatever way. It's subtle in the best way. It's not emphasizing any texture. Ooh, wow. I definitely, yeah, this would be great for more mature lids. So you got a little bit of texture, but you still would like something a little shiny on the lid. This formula is good. Definitely for that. It is not showing any of my little fine lines on my lids. That's so pretty. That's such a pretty, like, everyday little eyeshadow shade. As much as I like dark, smoky, glam looks, there's something to be said for a soft wash like this. I think it is very pretty and kind of understated, and I like that too. Not every look has to look soft, gothic glam like I tend to do. Oh yeah, that looks so nice. Let's see what it does with a finger, because it does say about the finger application in there. Oh yeah, wow. Okay, with a finger you definitely get a little more shine from it, but it still looks really smooth. Very pretty. Very pretty. Dang, that is lovely. Just lovely. I want to see what the other shimmer does. I think maybe I'll put on the inner part. It's the warmer tone. It's kind of a rose gold. It with the brush first and see how it layers over. This one's a little bit flakier in texture, but not anything terrible at all. I mean, it's not flaky like a Huda eyeshadow or something. So we're gonna try it with the little brush first. I'm just gonna pop it right here. Yeah, that one has a little bit more impact to it. A little more shimmer. But, ooh, very pretty, very glowy. And wow, not a bit of texture emphasized. I do have like a lot of little wrinkles right here, fine lines that can look pretty wrinkly sometimes, especially with like a really shimmery eyeshadow. But wow, that looks so smooth. Dang. And yeah, this one is a little bit flakier, but it's smoothing out really nicely. And again, no fallout. I just tapped my brush off. Did great. That's so pretty. Does this not look like Pillow Talk? This looks like Pillow Talk. It's what I think people want Pillow Talk to look like. Whereas in pictures, Pillow Talk looks like this. And then in person, it looks a lot warmer than what I think a lot of people anticipate with the Pillow Talk quads from Charlotte Tilbury. This is what I would want Pillow Talk to look like. Like my friend Chandra, she bought the Pillow Talk palette and returned it because she said it just looked orange on her. And I've seen that complaint a lot. Yeah, very smooth looking. A little bit like micro sparkles in there, but nothing crazy. Just a really pretty glow. Very flattering formula on this. Wow. So smooth. Just gonna tap a little bit right there. Oh yeah, very pretty. Still looks smooth. So far, this little palette is a win. I might have to pick up some more of these. Just because they look really nice. Lovely. Okay, so now we've seen we can get soft, everyday, pretty from this. Let's just see what we can do if we amp it up just a touch with some of this darkest shade. You know, I kind of can't help but do that. So on this little, what is this, medium sweeper from Sigma, I'm going to take the darkest shade in this little palette here. Right here, it's like a blackened dark eggplant. And I'm going to tap it off. This is a dark shade. I don't want any fallout because I've already done my foundation. Okay, so I'm going to pat this right out here to start and just see what it does on the outer corner. Lightly. Just to show you kind of some versatility. So that's one little dip in, tapped off, and then patting it on. Oh yeah, that is just lovely. This is like bridal makeup pretty. This palette would be beautiful for bridal. Yeah, that's so pretty. Oh wow, lovely. Just a really nice kind of depth to the eye there. And this shade, because it's kind of firmly pressed, it's not making a mess. Like there's like no kick up in the pan. So I feel like it's just it makes the application really easy. It's not going to get away from you. It's buildable, but lightly pigmented to start. But you can get it to where you want it. And how dramatic you want to go with your look, which I love. I love that versatility in an eyeshadow. Just pretty. Pretty like wedding makeup right there. Okay, let's see if we can build it up and get a little more drama out of it. Just for poops and giggles. So I'm just going to build up a little more kind of from the lash line and come up and out. Patting, yeah, it's definitely building up. And we'll lightly kind of blend it. Blending like an absolute dream too. Like this is performing like high-end eyeshadows. So that's great. The quality on this little guy is there. Yeah, look, that's so nice. It's just nice. I'm gonna take a little like liner brush, angled liner brush. And let's see if we can use this as eyeliner, this shade. Okay, so tap that brush off again. I'm just gonna go right at that lash line, little liner brush, and that deepest shade. There's an elegance to this palette. That's what it is. It's just, I don't know. I like it. I bet I could do a smoky eye with just this color. I'd pop on one of the shimmers. Ooh, it'd be so pretty. But yeah, if you have cooler undertones, this Cool Berry palette is made for you. It is the perfect balance of cool and warm. You just like kiss of warmth in there to where it doesn't look icy. That's lovely. That is just simply a lovely little palette. Alright, for a little bit of bronze, I'm going to reach over to my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. This is just the matte putty bronzer in the shade Tan Lines, I believe. Yes. And I'm just going to take a touch of this to give the face a little bit of shape. Nothing too dramatic. I just have like zero interest in the, was it the Luminous Putty Bronzer? I don't know, that just doesn't intrigue me. The Luminous blushes, I do want to get my little hands on. I just haven't seen them anywhere. And I want to see him in person to pick the shade. And for blush, I'm also going to keep it Drugstore, and I think just in the spirit of things, CoverGirl. We're going to use the Instant Cheekbones in Sophisticated Sable, which is one of my favorites. I absolutely love Sophisticated Sable. This is just one of the best little blush trios ever. It's so, so pretty. All right, let's move on to some mascara. Okay, I didn't pull the price of the telescopic lift from L'Oreal, but this is their newest in that little telescopic line. The original telescopic mascara kind of went viral a few months ago on TikTok Reels, whatever. And yeah, that was like one that my mom used to swear by, was the telescopic mascara, which that's how long that's been out. That was like 20 years ago. 15, 20 years it's been around. And this is their newest little addition to that range. I want to go pick up the original one just to nostalgia, because I used to use it too. But the new one has this interesting little paddle brush. It's got like a flat side, then you got some little short bristles here, and then some longer ones on the side. And you're supposed to kind of take the short ones first, or the flatter side first, and load the mascara up, and then brush through with the longer ones. And it's supposed to give you really lifted lashes. I find it gives me really good length and volume and lift, and I've heard some people say it doesn't really hold a curl very well. I can't speak to that because I don't have issue with curl. My lashes are pretty curly as it is. But I am going to go ahead and give them a little curl too, because I feel like it just opens the eye up. It makes everything look a little better. So I'm going to give them a little light curl here. Now, I think this is a beautiful mascara. I do have a short showing a before and after of it. And I showed it in a vlog recently. It is a damn good mascara if you ask me. And yeah, I'm here for it. It is very much volumizing, lengthening, kind of all the, it ticks all the boxes for me. So I'm going to take this little flat side first and run that through. My only complaint is sometimes I can stab myself in the eye with it because it is kind of pointy. And I'm not a big fan usually of these weird little brushes or anything like these rubber bristle type brushes. I'm usually not into those. But this one performs really well. And the little combs themselves have like double hooks on them to like grab the lashes and really comb through. Turn it to the side here. And I find you can really like push the lashes up with this mascara. Alright, and that's one coat. Yeah, one coat. It's pretty damn good on just the one. Now, me being me, more is more, and I like some big old lashes, I'm going to go on with the second layer. It builds so well. And I haven't noticed any flaking or anything with this mascara or anything like that. I found it has pretty decent wear throughout the day. I didn't feel like it smudged or anything like that. Now, last thing I want to test out for you guys today is this little lip product here. This is the Mega Last Lock and Shine Lip Color and Gloss from Wet n Wild. I did test this earlier, full disclosure. And I was going to test it again to show you guys. I tried it on in a vlog, just a swatch. And it didn't go well. So hopefully things go better this time. I'm going to go ahead, get everything off my lips, and I want to give this another go because look, when I applied this earlier, I wanted to just throw it across the room. It was not great. But let me read you the claims really quickly here. This retails for $6.49, comes in 6 shades that are not very nuanced. This was the most interesting one in the line, and I can't even tell you the name of it. It's something Dreams. Aficionado Dreams. I can't read that very well. It's so tiny. The gloss is infused with vitamin E and jojoba oil. It says buildable color, bold color, are the claims. So I'm going to give it one more go here. We're going to see if it can redeem itself. And I think it has a really nice applicator on it. It's similar to the one that comes with the liquid cat suits. So, all right. I like the shade. But it got bad. All right, it's applied. So I like the applicator. It's the same one that is on the liquid catsuits. The liquid catsuit liquid lipstick from Wet n Wild is phenomenal. Beautiful formula. So you get the same applicator. The formula is nothing like it. This is a incredibly dry formula, as in I feel like the life is being sucked out of my lips right now because it's so freaking dry. Incredibly dry. Claims to have 12-hour color if you just use this and not the gloss. Yeah, I think they're definitely trying to go after NYX with the Shine Loud little duos, which are fantastic. Those are truly an updated version of the old school like CoverGirl, Maybelline, L'Oreal little gloss liquid lipstick systems. It is like the modern take on it. It is comfortable, wears great, lovely formula, lovely product. So Wet n Wild's trying to, get in on that, right? So we're fully dried down, like in no time. And yeah, no transfer, none. But it is super dry. I applied a really thin layer, so it's not as bad as it was earlier. But the thing is, it gets a little streaky, so you kind of have to work with a little. And this is not like a super vampy deep shade that I expect to get streaky. I have the liquid catsuit in their darkest shades. Zero streakiness. They apply like an absolute dream. Going with the gloss, right? Get this lovely gloss with some great ingredients in it. This freaking little brush here is awful. The brush is terrible. It is stabby. It is like some of the bristles like stuck together weird. It feels like kids makeup, like the little brushes that come in children's makeup, how like they're just garbage. That's what this feels like. And yeah, let's try this again. The gloss itself, I think, is great. It's doing a little better than it did last time. Again, this little brush is getting all kind of crazy and frayed. Going back in there. I don't like that either. And looks pretty good right now. Okay, so we have better luck on the second try. That first try was just awful. It started peeling off my lips. I let it sit a little bit longer and do a thinner coat this time because it started to flake and peel off my lips like paint, and it was just like the worst. Like I was going to throw this in the trash. And I thought, nope, save it for this first impressions video. Let's give it another go. And if it sucks, we can show it in this video. But let's see if it transfers. Oh yeah, okay. See, you're gonna get super transfer though, because the gloss breaks down the lipstick. Oh, now it's doing it. There we go. There's the crumbliness. Okay, so now it's starting to wear down and starting to feel gritty. And it's coming off, like instantly. It's starting to get that gritty feel and like peely feel, like you just wanna wipe it off. It's starting to not feel good. And it immediately was just transferring everywhere once I tested it there. The gloss just completely destroys the integrity of the liquid lipstick portion. And the liquid lipstick on its own is terrible. Like you don't want to wear it without the gloss. This is not great. This is not a win. Back to the drawing board on this one, Wet n Wild. The liquid catsuits are amazing. Those matte lipsticks from Wet n Wild, great formula. This, don't I wouldn't bother. This would be just throwing $6.49 down the drain, honestly. It's really not worth it because it does transfer. I don't see like you're going to get a great wear time out of it with the gloss at all. It's just going to wear like a regular lipstick. And without the gloss, it feels like torture on the lips. It feels terrible. So this is the NYX Shine Loud, and it's pretty much damn near the same shade. And the next one is in the shade Boundary Pusher. And I feel like it just wears a lot better. I don't know. Let me take this one off, and I want to compare. Just because, for science, like, Look how easily that removes. I feel like easy, it just completely comes off. Like you're not getting a incredible wear time from this. Like that would be the point of using it, right? It just no. So let me just show you the difference with the NYX one now. This one has a different type of applicator also. And yeah. Goes on super opaque. So like this one just has a creamier formula. It's a bit thicker in a good way, like it has good coverage and it feels better on the lips and doesn't feel super dry like the Wet n Wild one does. So I'm gonna give this a minute to dry down. Now this one does get sticky during the dry down process, but it goes away once you put the gloss on. You're good to go. Now this one, I think during the initial dry down feels weird because it does feel like a coat, like almost like vinyl across your lips or something. It's an odd feeling, but it's not terrible. You don't feel like your lips are the life's being sucked out of them. Yeah, I think there is a price difference between these two, definitely. With the Wet n Wild one being $6.49, I think the NYX ones are closer to like $10 price point. I just think they're a better product all around, and I would rather spend the money for this and have a better experience with the product than have something that's kind of finicky and weird. All right, this is fully dry now. And you see how it just still has like a bit of a sheen to it. Like it's not sucking the life out of my lips. They don't feel gross. It just feels kind of like a liquid lipstick. Now I'm going to take the gloss end here. And the gloss is also a much more pleasant experience to use. The brush is softer. That's what it is. It's a softer brush. The brush in this thing is so rough. It just feels a lot nicer on the lips. It really does. No gritty texture, no peeliness, nothing where you just want to like wipe your lips off immediately. It's comfortable. It feels nice. Whereas this one feels just unpleasant. It just doesn't feel great. I don't like it. Now, yeah, and with the NYX one, no transfer. I got the Wet n Wild Mega Last Lock and Shine is pretty much a dud. Don't bother, don't waste your money on this one. It's not worth it. I don't know how this product actually passed product like testing. Like who approved this? So let me give you a quick rundown on what the skin's looking like. This has been on about an hour now because I've been doing other stuff. I haven't just been sitting here filming. I actually got up, it was on the phone, and yeah. The foundation is looking fabulous. There's no settling in any of my creases or lines. It feels set. Like I didn't powder all up here or over here or anything, and it feels like I've powdered. It looks really, really good. The concealer is looking great. My nose looks so smooth. I don't see it emphasizing anything dry, like any flakiness on my skin either. So heck yeah, that's awesome. I think if you have oily skin, the IRL little combo here is definitely something to look at. Or if you're oily combo like myself, and if you're dry skin but you also like a matte finish, I think if you moisturize pretty well, you can make this work for you. These are nice. It looks so freaking beautiful on the skin. It really does look like a filter. What pores? What pores? None. I'm very impressed with those. I am incredibly impressed with this eyeshadow palette. It is beautiful. It is soft. It is elegant. It is wedding vibes with this guy right here. Just very pretty. It's also like just perfect kind of work, going to work palette. It is gorgeous. And I think on mature lids, this would be so pretty. Very happy with this. Definitely gonna pick up some more of these. This little rose comfort business from Wet n Wild is fabulous. Beautiful, beautiful formula on here. On this, Wet n Wild did a great job on these. The Lock and Shine is freaking garbage. This is awful. Don't bother. Just do not bother. And the telescopic lift is great. Okay, So yeah, let me know your thoughts below. How do you feel about these products? What do you think? I'm ridiculously angry at this. And yeah, let me know your thoughts though down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay spooky. Bye now.